Hello and welcome back to the podcast. We are off to an interesting start today, considering I will be holding a brand I will not mention, although you can maybe see it if you're
You
watching.
can probably tell if you're watching.
This is not an advertisement. I just need ice on my finger because I grabbed my curling iron today for whatever reason. While I was getting
You were in
ready.
a rush.
Yeah, I need to slow the down
You
because
need to mellow out.
genuinely, I just lost my second pinky toe nail
That's
in the last month.
tough.
Dubbed them both in a rush. Lost
At
it.
the same time
No,
or on different occasions, then that's when you know it's a problem, is when it's
different
reoccurring.
occasions.
Yeah.
Different occasions.
In a small window of time, probably not ideal.
Yeah. So I need to calm down. And now I'm burnt, so I'm just holding this cup. And you might hear the ice in the mic, but just please ignore. Also, this past week, I think we mentioned in the last episode that I was going to be doing a gingerbread making party.
I believe so. I believe this was referenced.
And to be honest, at the time, I was thinking, like, is that a childish thing to do? I'm not sure, but I'll tell you what.
What? Not childish.
It's not for the kids. I'm telling you right now, this is a
tough.
warning for any parents who think, oh, so cute, we're going to make gingerbread houses. Don't. I mean, our friend group was actually struggling. Multiple gingerbread houses collapsed after like 20 minutes of working on them. I literally had to restart, which was fine because I ended up winning the competition. I had to toot my own horn, but
I want to see a photo of which one was yours, because I saw the photos of the various houses in said competition.
It was a blind vote. No one knew whose was whose.
And I would like to know. Yeah, I did vote. I was a part of the vote, so I want to know who I voted for.
We'll put the pictures up. But yeah, I ended up somehow winning, even though I was literally the underdog in the situation. I was working at my house for 20 minutes. Finally got it to stay together. By the way, the house like that we were at, I destroyed. There was icing everywhere. On my pants, on the floor, everywhere.
Is this the first time that you've made a gingerbread house?
No,
like, as an adult?
No. And
so, like, you've done one in recent
but I
years?
don't remember it being that traumatic. And I don't know why it was this time, but it was actually a mess. And I ate so much icing during the process because it just kept getting everywhere. So, like, to, go along, I was eating it.
Mm-hmm.
I felt so sick after, too, from eating so much icing. So it's not for the weak. And it really pissed me off, too, because after we were done, I was getting gingerbread house making videos on TikTok.
Right.
And they were beautiful. And I'm like, how did these people do it? It doesn't make any sense to me. But I saw a trick on one of the videos. You decorate the pieces separately, like while they're flat, so you can draw on them and whatever, and then you connect them once they're dry. We didn't know that. We thought the first step was connecting them.
Yeah.
Because I was also going to say, if you do it, buy the ones that are already put together, because those exist now.
They do. They sell them at Target.
I wouldn't even do that because it's not going to be easy to decorate still.
Yeah, it would still be a little tough to decorate. I did want to say I would consider myself and Brian, because he does help, to be an expert gingerbread maker. I did insert a photo, and we can add this in here as well, of the pink chateau that we created.
Did you glue this together?
I did.
Icing it.
That's cheating. Immediately
cheating.
We used hot glue. We started with icing and it was starting to fall apart, and then we used hot glue.
So we specifically said no hot glue. That would be not fair, because that's like,
I think some of these pieces are held up with the hot glue, but the hot glue definitely helped. You can see that's why the candy canes are on the front of the house.
Well, that would have solved all our issues, but we wanted it to be authentically crafty with the icing.
This pink chateau looked pretty authentic and pretty cute, and we do plan to make another one. We made this one, I think, the day after Christmas last year.
I would do it again with hot glue, but I wouldn't do it again with icing. I mean, it was like
and it's just frustrating at that point if it just keeps falling apart.
Oh my God, I love crafting. My morale was so low because as soon as I would get confident, fall apart. I'm like, great, thank you. This is exactly what I needed.
Holiday cheer.
Speaking of holiday cheer, I also went to an ugly Christmas sweater party, which
Is a vibe.
is a vibe. But I got a sweater just from Target, and honestly, it wasn't ugly. It just had that pattern that you think of when you think of ugly Christmas sweaters.
Right.
So I got it, and it was like still a cute sweater. But I felt so bad because when I got there, somebody was like, "Oh, I saw this at Target, but like I didn't think it was an ugly sweater, so like I didn't wear it." And I was like, "Oh shit."
I
And then
mean,
someone after was like, "Oh, like
do you think this is
they had
ugly?
this sweater." No, like they wore it for just a regular holiday party,
Uh-huh.
like as a cute sweater.
Yeah.
And I wore it as an ugly sweater. So
So
like
they felt
they
offended.
felt offended, and I was like, "No, like I just got it because of the pattern."
Yeah, and it's like the shady or nice crew necks. They're not necessarily ugly. I would say they're pretty cute.
It's just the
It's just the
pattern.
pattern that makes them the classic ugly
Exactly.
sweater.
Exactly.
I mean, that's at least what I think.
Same. I mean, that's what I was going for.
I think you achieved that. I saw the little video. It was cute.
Thank you.
You're
But yeah,
welcome.
I felt bad. I was like, "No, I'm not saying that it's an actual ugly
No
sweater."
one needs to
Like,
be offended.
um,
That's tough.
but yeah, you had some fun this weekend for your birthday.
I did. As we mentioned multiple times on the podcast, I did go to my favorite place, that is Disney World, with Brian. We spent a few days there. Some highlights, drinking around the world. You saw, I think all of my friends saw bits and pieces of me
Oh, your videos?
drinking around the world because I thought it was a great idea to film. Here I am with my first drink in
But you didn't even
Mexico.
do all of them,
Oh, I
did you?
did. You
Okay, I
just
only
got,
got a couple.
yeah, I'll show you them all after. It You can tell when I'm at country one and then cuz there are 11 total countries. I have never and probably will never again have a drink in every single country, but it is not for the weak of
Did you
heart.
actually drink them? Because I was debating with Tracy while we were at this party Saturday. I'm like, "Do
If
you
I was
think she
drinking,
drank them all?"
I
No
drank
way. There's no way. You know how much liquid that is? I don't even think you could drink that much water in a day.
I drank up until I think country 4 or 5, my drinks. And then Brian and I split, I think, for the next 5 countries drinks. So I had at least a sip or like half a drink in every single
A
country.
sip, though?
Well, one or two of them were
No, I'm
gross.
not blaming you because, like, there's no chance I
It's
could drink
tough.
11 drinks.
It's tough. And it was
Especially
just,
they're like, some of them are very sugary, some of them are, they're
oh yeah,
all
one
different
was the
themes.
second one. Well, we started with a marg, and that one was strong. Second one was a Vikings coffee, which was just like chocolate syrup, like frozen
See, so
coffee.
that's why every time you mention it to me, I'm like, I don't know if I would actually even enjoy it because too many, it was kind of like those Christmas drinks that we made for the
Yes,
bonus
but they're
content.
so
It's like
good.
once you have like a sip of one, you're like, "Oh, delicious," but like I'm good.
That's where the sharing came into hand with some of the sugary ones.
Yeah.
All in all, it was a pretty good trip. There was a minor, as what some news outlets want to consider a minor or mini hurricane on the like south part of Florida. So there was a lot of rain and wind.
But it wasn't where you were. It was just like the
No, yeah, it was
aftermath of
just
it,
the
like the
aftermath of
outside of
it.
it.
So other than that, it
That's,
was
I
pretty
mean,
good.
that's good. Could have
Yeah,
been
could have
worse.
been worse, but we
Um,
thrive.
I was kind of wondering like how the weather would be in Florida in
Normally, it's really nice in
December.
December. It's like 70 degrees, so it's not too hot, not too cold. It's after hurricane season, so it's usually not too rainy.
Yeah.
We just got pretty, a little unfortunate, but never a bad day in Disney. We powered through the rain. We had a poncho, raincoat. It was
Good times.
good times, good vibes,
Except
except
your experience at dinner.
at dinner, Brian and I genuinely thought we were being pranked. Because, and I told you and Evan about this when we were on our way over here today. So Brian and I, we get done with our really rainy day. We just want to put on some warm clothes, watch the Lions game, have a nice dinner in this like Italian restaurant lounge at our hotel. So we're sitting there, it's chill, it's casual, and then this group of people come and they are like up by the bar. There's not a ton of like seats around, so this woman and seemingly her mom, just based off of like the bits and pieces we hear, sit at the bar, and then the table behind us is the dad and the girl's boyfriend, husband, whomever. And they just start talking so loud to the point where I think everyone in the lounge could hear. And this girl, I did not know if she was speaking to her boyfriend, husband, or her father, but every 5 seconds it was, Daddy, 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 do you like the tiramisu?
But also to preface, didn't you say she seemed like she was probably in her 30s?
Yes. That was what I like typecasted her as. And she was, yeah, it was not like a young girl. Like she was out here drinking, like probably was at Epcot before this. Daddy, do you like your espresso martini? Daddy's martini looks a little full. Do you want another martini, Daddy?
But then also interchanging with baby.
Yes, and then she kept saying, baby, baby. And I was like, what is the dynamic
but how
here?
awkward do you think it was for the guy, whoever was her husband, boyfriend, to not also look when she was saying Daddy, like not knowing, like,
I think
what
he
if,
might have been, and I couldn't
what if
see.
she's calling me right now?
Because
What
I
if-
was sitting facing the TV, and the bar was to my right, so she was kind of to my right, and I was trying not to look. The table was behind me. Brian was to my left, so he could see the whole situation. So I just want to be like,
Dang.
who is
But
looking when she's saying this? Like, is she calling her boyfriend daddy and baby interchangeably in front of her parents? I don't think so, based on what I gathered.
Still an awkward scenario
It
to
was
be in.
so weird, and it did not stop. I was about to start counting how many times she was
You
saying
should
it.
have took a drink every time she said it.
I really needed to.
That would have got you worse than Around the World.
Honestly, I would have been hammered.
That's so funny. Well, in some other hotel news, speaking of, I don't know. We kind of talked about Vegas a few times in the last
We
few
have. They've
episodes.
been making headlines.
But a new hotel just opened there, the Fountain Blue, and it was this big opening. They did like a whole thing, and supposedly, allegedly paid Justin Timberlake $6.1 million to perform for the opening night. He also
That's nuts.
placed the first bet at the casino. But there was some drama surrounding this for two reasons. One, he does this performance and then posts a photo of him and his wife, Jessica Biel,
Mm-hmm.
after the performance at a hotel walking down the hallway. And it wasn't the Fountain Blue that they stayed at, it was the Wynn. And so the Wynn sees that they're staying there and not at this new hotel. They take it as a marketing opportunity.
Of course they did.
They posted to their own page saying everyone ends up at the Wynn.
That's clever. That's really clever.
So they ended up taking it down. Obviously, didn't look too good for him that he just got
Oh my
paid to
gosh.
perform there and didn't stay there. But people were saying maybe it was because the hotel wasn't open prior and they might have came in early, so then they don't want to move hotels.
Right.
But regardless, it just didn't look good.
Not a good look.
But then also, he performed Cry Me a River for the first time in years. And he prefaced the song by saying, no disrespect, and then did the
Just
song.
went into it.
And so obviously everyone was like, oh my God, he's talking about Britney Spears because this song is about her.
Oh, yeah.
And he hasn't performed in so long. Well, she responded with an Instagram post.
Of course.
And it's now deleted, but the caption was, oh, Jesus Christ, the stories I could tell on the set of this one. There's always more to the story, and that's not even half of it. It was shot in Arizona in 120-degree heat. 2 different version videos were shot for this song. Most boys say, oh, I'm shook. P.S. I never mentioned how I beat him in basketball and he would cry. No disrespect.
So out of pocket.
Well, in her memoir, she talked a lot about her relationship with him.
Right.
And so I guess maybe that compelled him to perform
I think that's exactly what
this
did
song.
it.
But definitely not a good response. And I don't think Britney fans were too happy. But for whatever reason, she deleted the post. So
Interesting. Very interesting.
lots of drama. But yeah, it was like one of the biggest hotel openings in Vegas in a while, which we always talk about. Like, we're not that into
compelled to go to Vegas. Brian and I were actually just talking about that because when we were at the airport, the gate next to us was going to Vegas, and we're like, what if we just did a switch up and like went to Vegas for the weekend? Like, what would that be like? And we're like, doesn't seem like our vibe.
I think if you like gambling, it'd be a lot of fun,
But
but
that's
I
just
just
not what I'm
don't.
into.
Same. Um, but other than that, it just doesn't entice me too much. I actually just watched this show on Netflix that came out. It's new. It's called Obliterated, and kind of a wild show, by the way. Like, warning, like there's so many uncalled for sex scenes, I feel like.
Oh.
But it was good overall. It was
Mhm.
like an action show about people that work for the US government saving Vegas from, like, I don't know, just saving Vegas. There's a bunch of things going on. And it was actually pretty good. And it made Vegas seem a little fun, but then I was like, I don't know.
Vegas is like, and I feel like I had the same perception of Miami before I ever went there. They both just seem very overwhelming, very overstimulating, and just not a good time. Like, I feel like
I
there's no chill,
No, you're
cute
not going you
vibes.
are not going to Vegas to chill, period.
No, which I don't know.
That's kind of what you want in a vacation.
Not chill or
No,
chill.
chill.
Yeah, no, I definitely
So
want
you
to
don't
chill.
that cuz that's how I am too. But I think I talked about this before, maybe. We had a flight that got overnight there,
Mm-hmm.
delayed or whatever. So we stayed there for literally one night, and Evan just thrives, like absolutely loves it. But
Really?
he loves blackjack.
See,
So
not my
he
cup of
also
tea.
got pissed because I think I said this too. I ended up winning like $400 playing blackjack with
Did you
him,
really?
and I don't, and like I was
It's
just
not wasn't
doing
fun.
it.
You were just it was just something to
Yeah, and
do. You
he
were
was so
there.
pissed. He's like, "You sit down and win $400. Like,
I
this
feel
is
like
what
that's
I
how
always
it
try to do." And I'm
goes.
like,
Beginner's
"Yeah,
luck or something like that.
I know, I agree, but yeah, I don't know if I could do it because even for like Bachelor Bachelorette, we've talked about it, but it's just like he would probably thrive, but
Yeah.
I feel like by the second day, I'd just be like, can we like chill somewhere?"
Yes, with like more calm
Yeah,
vibes.
but continuing on, some vacationing going on right now
Mm.
that we could also probably never. There
No,
is
there's no way.
no way a 9-month long cruise that everybody's talking about right now. A lot of people on the cruise are actually sharing their journeys on TikTok, so it's kind of going viral right now. But this cruise is 274 nights, 11 world wonders, 60 plus countries. So you can either do the full 9 months at one time, or you can pick segments and go into smaller segments. There's 4 different segments. Um but the price, supposedly the range from if you go to one segment or all of them, is from 66,000 to 112,000 per person.
That's insane. I have so many questions about this cruise.
Same, but I thought this was kind of interesting. Some people were saying they feel like this is a good deal because you're not, if you work it out where you're not paying for a place to live at the time,
Yeah,
this includes all your food, all your laundry, all your groceries, all your normal expenses that you would have in the
right?
real world, but
Right.
it's all included in this. So at the end of the 9 months, are you really saving money and you're on vacation, or are you spending money?
Potentially, but are they working at the same time? Because that was one of my initial questions. Like, are people working from home on these boats, or are they just there? I mean, maybe a mix of both.
I think there's definitely some people who are going to try to swing it with the Wi-Fi. I don't know if it's going to go well. I think there's going to
No,
be a period of travel where they're like, "Oh my God, why did I try to do this?" Um, but yeah, I think some people are for sure going to be trying to like work from home there.
it doesn't seem like, I don't know. I get very motion sick very easily. I have gone on two cruises in my life, once when I was very little, and then once when I was like 22. And I was motion sick the whole time, seasick,
Which is
couldn't do it.
wild. They say that cruises are supposed to be not motion sick.
And I was
I definitely do get
down
motion
and
sick
out.
if the boat is like very
Very
rocky,
rocky.
but normally I think I'm okay.
Imagine being just motion sick for 9 months.
I don't think you would do this if you got motion sick.
You never know.
Um, that would be really concerning. Also, though, there are a lot of people making TikToks about this because they're just saying they're concerned. They feel like people are going to become like alcoholics because they just have unlimited drinks for 9 months. People are going to
Wild.
cheat on people because you're going to be on this boat with 700 other people the whole time, making connections, making friends. And then people are also concerned about illness. Like, what happens if everyone gets sick or like a lot of people get sick?
Bro, these poor, could you imagine being on this boat right now? Because apparently this isn't the first ever like multi-month, 9-month cruise. Being on this specific cruise and realizing that a large portion of TikTok and of the world
Is
are just
watching
like
you.
watching and projecting all of this like crazy dialogue. People are treating this as if it's a Bravo
I wish it
show.
was.
And I've seen
And
that
why
people want
haven't they
it.
done that?
I wouldn't be surprised if, I mean, they have 9 months. There could be a camera crew that gets sent out there and starts filming a documentary or something out there.
Oh, they should.
I think it could happen with this specific cruise because there's so much interest in what is going on. Whoever's on these cruises, like, good for them that are doing TikToks because people are invested, like very invested in what's happening.
My biggest concern with this whole thing is, what did people pack?
You would have had to pack like you were going on the Titanic when
You
they
would have
brought
had to
those like
pack,
big ass trunks.
yeah, like you would have had to pack snow boots, bathing suits. They're literally going to every single kind of weather you can get.
Dude, this is.
And what are they doing? Like, are they laying out? Isn't it going to be cold in most spots? Like,
I did see lounge chairs in some of the TikToks that I seen. I did watch one tour of the boat. There's a lot of stuff on it. It's really hard to say, but I have this same concern about when people go on shows like The Bachelor, Bachelorette, where they don't know what the weather's going to be the whole time. You can only pack so much with you. And then what?
yeah.
Like, you're like not sure.
I mean, I guess you literally just have to bring one of everything. Like one
I
big
would
coat.
do so
one, oh, I
unwell
would.
with that.
Oh,
We are chronic
overpackers.
overpackers.
I mean, a weekend trip is you're checking a bag for sure.
Oh yeah, I was gone for 3 days and I had a largest size suitcase, very large, largest one you could get. That was at 49 pounds, plus a rolly check-on bag, plus my big ass backpack that had all of my toiletries in it. So what did I have? I don't know, but I had everything I needed.
Yeah, and in this situation, I feel like, I mean, I've never been on a cruise, so I don't know for sure, but I feel like the rooms are way too small to be everyone be bringing that much stuff. Like enough stuff for 9 months. Like when you think about
That's a
it,
lot of stuff.
you have to basically bring like, I don't know. You just would. It would be very difficult to pack for. I feel like, especially too, like if you are trying to work from home there. I'm assuming you're working in your room, and you just have 9 months worth of stuff in there.
I just can't imagine the commitment to like take 9 months of your life to go on a cruise and to just say, I'm going to forget all of my obligations back home, miss out on whatever happens between now and what August they're going to be on that. Like, think of the holidays, the birthdays, the anniversaries, the events. I don't know. I just feel like a lot changes in life in 9 months. You could literally have a baby. Like, somebody could get pregnant this month on the ship and give birth by the end of the
saw
cruise.
TikTok saying
Yeah.
that. It is kind of wild.
To
But
drop everything and go on a cruise?
I'm not gonna lie, the website was enticing.
Really?
Because like if you're somebody who has this bucket list of seeing all these things, I feel like for a lot of people there's not really an opportunity that you're going to do all of those things separately.
Yeah.
So to get it all done at once, if that is something that is on your bucket list to see, this is like I think the most easiest bang for your buck way to do it.
True.
So
So
I could see it for people who really care about their bucket list.
that is true.
I don't even think I have one.
A bucket list?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd necessarily do either.
I'm just living life.
I'm living life too. I feel like when I was younger, I was like, oh yeah, I want to skydive and do this and that.
Couldn't be me.
No, couldn't be you. Couldn't be me after my frontal lobe developed. because once that thing was done, I'm not getting in a plane and jumping out of it ever, ever again. Too many scenarios that could go wrong. Uh, but I don't really know what I would say. At one point, I wanted to go to every single state and go to like a sporting event, like a football game or a basketball game, baseball game, whatever, in each different state, just because I think that would be interesting to see the different stadiums. But I don't know. I don't ever intend on doing that, and I'm like, I'm not going to be not content with life if I don't do that.
Yeah.
I
I
think I
think
just said it.
I think the craziest thing for me is not traveling places because when I go, I feel pressure to see everything.
Oh my gosh,
So then I
same.
just don't go. And then like that is like makes no sense at all. And
Yeah,
I need to stop doing that because when you immediately said like I wanted to go to every state, I could do that and I would want to do that. But then I would be like, "Oh my God, well I went here, but I didn't see this, this and this." So
mm-hmm.
like did I even go?
Dude,
And I think that's the kind of pressure that I would
it is
feel.
pressure. Why do you think I keep going back to Disney? Because they've got so much stuff in there that I
Shut
just keep.
up.
No, I swear to God, everything we did on this trip was stuff that we said we wanted to do on the last trip that Brian and I went on there and didn't get to do. And now we have a longer list of things that I feel like I still want to go and do there.
I know, but then do you ever think like instead of doing that, like, wow, we could have went to Alaska or like
No, yes and no. Yes and no. I do think of that sometimes. Like, dang, we probably could have gone like somewhere new.
new.
But I also get anxiety about going new places. Like, I feel like I have my little routine. I know the area. I feel very safe there. So I can just go and even though Disney's not that relaxing, relax in a sense because I know what's going on. Whereas when you go somewhere new, you kind of got to be on your A game to like, to your point,
Know
know
what
where
you're
things
doing.
are
Yeah.
and not like waste time doing things, not to say out of order, but in a way that isn't time efficient. Because I feel like I did that when I studied abroad in Italy. We like just happened upon the Trevi Fountain and then like, I don't know, we were just like doing things like really out of order and just like could have done a lot
But
more
I
with our
feel like
time.
that's better in a sense because there was no pressure on it.
Yeah.
But and then that's also my fear too is like if you go somewhere and you take all this time planning it and then you're like,
It doesn't live up to it. That's
yeah.
a that's a always a fear of mine. I think with every vacation, there's like a lingering thought in the back of my head, like, am I really having fun right now? Or is like this just like what I planned out to do, but I'm not actually having fun doing it? Like, I think any trip that's like a little like intrusive thought in the back of my head, like, did you even have fun?
Or
Which
did you
is like
just have to do
weird.
it? I know it's like a weird anxiety around
Uh-huh.
traveling that I think we both kind of get. And that's why sometimes I'm just like,
I just want to be home.
I'm cool with staying home.
I like being home. I like comfy clothes. I like
You can wear comfy clothes.
anywhere. I kept saying that on this past trip. I was like, that's a great part about Disney. They don't care what I wear. I can wear sweatpants wherever
Meanwhile,
I want.
no one cares what you wear anywhere.
No, I can
Um,
wear sweatpants anywhere.
dude, yeah, I know. Cause I've got to plan like I don't have to plan it. I'm like looking forward to it, but even with the honeymoon, I've been feeling so much pressure to pick the right location. And what if we
Right.
pick the wrong location? And
Yeah.
I've just been feeling a lot of pressure around it. And it's like supposed to be such a fun experience, but when you
Yeah.
have travel anxiety, it's just like, God, and what if we go to that place and we don't see the things that we should see? And
Right.
it's just, yeah.
That's one of the overwhelming things about like a Europe trip or something like that because you want to go relax, enjoy your time, but there's so much there and throughout all the countries and all the cities that it's just a
Yeah.
beast in itself. Maybe
Overwhelming.
that's why
Yeah.
people use like travel agents, probably.
That's probably, yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
actually makes a lot of sense.
I've thought about becoming a travel agent on the side multiple times. I did a class
So you
for
want to
my
plan
major.
my trips, what you're saying?
I could if I really took the time. I do love planning a good trip, but just
Well, I
not
know who to bother now.
yeah.
This is so random, but I had to bring this up because I was thinking about like on this cruise. They're obviously getting off and exploring these places.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Alaska is on this list. I'm sure somewhere with polar bears are. And I was thinking about it. Mainly I thought about it because I, for some reason, am on Bear Talk. I get videos about bears all the time.
Interesting.
I'm not really sure.
Are you accidentally on the STEM channel on TikTok?
What's that?
Okay. Let me show you for 0.2 seconds because this was the craziest thing that I realized that I was one time. I go, wow, when did my TikTok become so educational? And why am I getting so like,
Shut up.
yes, like why am I learning so much from this? Why do I feel like these videos are trying to teach me something? So if you look here on your TikTok, there's your For You page. If you swipe to the left, it becomes TikTok Shop,
Mm-hmm.
which I still don't
And
understand.
then following and explore.
Following, no, STEM.
Oh, no, mine's not.
You don't have a STEM.
Mm-mm.
Randomly,
You were on that?
I'll just be on this one out of nowhere.
And you won't notice?
Look at this. NADP plus is a molecule that accepts and delivers 2 electrons and 1 hydrogen ion. What does that mean? What does it
that's
represent?
Literally science talk.
It
No,
is science
I'm on
talk.
like just a bunch of different kind of animal talks, I think, and bear is one of them.
Interesting.
Which I don't know.
It feels very specific.
You guys, this is not like a specific. There is no aisle for this on TikTok. It's
What
just
do you
something
mean?
like there is no swipe over to bear talk, but I just get it on my page. I don't know why. And one of them was, and I also think I thought about this because Evan like will randomly be like, "Oh, it'd be cool to go to Alaska," and I know cruises. There is a
That would be
specific
cool.
cruise to go to Alaska, but apparently that's where polar bears live, and
Apparently.
and I didn't know this. I just found this out. Polar bears are considered marine mammals, which
Wait, they are?
marine mammals, yeah.
I thought that was a question you were posing in
No.
today's show notes. Was are they marine animals? Because they're always be in the water.
They are marine mammals. They spend more time in the water than on land.
How long can they breathe underwater?
I'm not sure, but I also found out that if you encounter one, you're gone. They do not care, and they will commit
Crime.
against you.
Wait,
Seriously.
that's really sad because they seem so.
Aren't they so cute? And like I would always see videos I'm like, oh my god, they're so cute. Like I want to pet it. And then like no, they will
attack.
And
Without question,
no
without
questions asked.
Without any.
They won't even ask you anything first.
You won't even be
They'll
able to think.
attack.
You're just done.
Correct.
In probably a really tragic way.
Tragic. Yeah.
Fuck.
So they say if you encounter one, like you have to find somewhere to hide, like
hide
shelter
immediately
and lock the doors. And
what if there's no
probably
shelter? I
inside.
feel like if you encountered a polar bear, this is just my personal thought.
No, because listen,
it's just snow and nothing.
Because did we talk about this before? I swear to God, maybe I just told you this. Long time ago, I saw a video that there's a certain town in Alaska where everyone keeps their doors unlocked so that if people encounter polar bears,
I didn't know they kept them unlocked.
The certain town, everyone in the town.
Is it the town where they all live in the same building?
No, I don't think so.
There's
but
a building
they all keep
like
their
that.
doors unlocked. And so if anyone ever encounters a polar bear, they can go inside and lock the doors.
That sounds like a lot of trouble. I would not enjoy keeping my door unlocked because if that's just like the norm, like you run in someone's house if there's a polar bear, like
not the house, the car.
Oh, the car?
The cars. Everyone keeps their cars unlocked.
Interesting.
Yeah. But the saying is, if it's brown, lay down. If it's black, fight back. If it's white, good night.
I don't think I could fight back against the black bear.
I don't think you actually fight. They just say, make yourself as big and loud as possible, and they get scared. Apparently, that's the saying, and they, will attack.
And they also, polar bears can only hold their breath for 2 minutes underwater, which seems like a very short period of time, considering they spend most of their time in water.
I guess this is something I don't understand, which we're getting way too deep into this, and we'll move on shortly. But you know how, they say rhinos, hippopotamuses are so big that they just sink to the bottom and they're actually running. They're not
they
swimming.
walk. They don't swim, yeah.
How is a polar bear just out here just swimming around? Like, I feel like it's a big creature. I feel like it's almost as big as a hippo.
I don't know.
How is it
Animals
just
are
swimming
wild.
effortlessly? Like, I feel like even if my dog went into the pool, like if Wolf went in the pool, I feel like he's too big to swim. Like, I'm not
I
judging him, but like,
I mean, like whales swim,
yeah, but
but they're
they're
like
a
a
fish.
fish. Yeah, a mammal doing it is a
We've got
little
to stop because I feel like we're sounding like we're not on STEM talk.
no, but I do know, I learned this that dolphins, they can't breathe underwater. I mean, they can, but like not for long periods of time. They have to come up for air
Yeah, they
every
have their
so
little
often.
spout.
And basically, when they sleep at night, because it's like, oh, well, if you need air to breathe, but you're sleeping, how does one do that? They have a function in their brain that turns on when they're sleeping that can help protect them from potential harm and allows them to sleep underwater.
Why don't we have that?
That's what I'm saying. That would be sick.
I feel like we're like one organ away from mermaid.
From what?
Being mermaids.
I thought you said we're one organ away from being murdered.
By dolphins.
No, probably. I bet mermaids exist. There's no way. I mean, I feel like we have a lot of organs that like you can you could live with or without. So why can't we just
No,
like
we specifically don't.
yes, we
We have like
do.
one.
You could live without your gallbladder,
Okay, two.
your tonsils, your adenoids,
Those aren't
your appendix could
organs.
come out.
The appendix and the gallbladder are organs. I don't think your
I'm pretty
tonsils
sure
an
you can live
organ.
with one kidney. Why can't we grab something
Oh
that
my
like
God.
that?
We're getting way too deep in
Like
this.
that's
We
just
clearly
crazy.
don't know enough.
I don't have tonsils or adenoids.
I don't
Do
even know what
you?
an adenoid is.
I don't know. It's something in that general vicinity. They just took them.
That's fine. I don't have an appendix, so
They just took that.
they just took that. Next thing you know, we're gonna be missing an organ.
You know.
Yeah, no, we definitely just went down a rabbit hole. That is pretty much all that's going on this week, though. But we do have some shady stories for you.
Let's get it.
Let's get into shady story number 1. I was home from college for Christmas when I was 18, and in my freshman year, we always celebrated Christmas with my dad's side of the family at my grandma's on Christmas Eve. My uncle's wife, my aunt through marriage, is very outspoken and abrasive personality type. That Christmas, she started reprimanding me in front of the entire family, claiming I wasn't thanking people for my Christmas gifts while we were all opening presents at the same time. I have no idea where that came from. I was fed up and super pissed to be called out like I was a child. I was a legal adult at that point, and she wasn't even my mom. So I called my best friend who lived nearby, same best friend I rescued the pitbull puppy with that summer, wink wink. She picked me up since I didn't have my car. I told her I was late for my period and just didn't feel like dealing with my aunt that night, so we came up with the idea to find a store open late on Christmas Eve to get a pregnancy test. We finally found an open drugstore, got a test, and went back to her house to take it, fully expecting it to be negative. It came up bright and positive immediately, and I was shook. I had to go home and get through Christmas Day with my family, acting like nothing was wrong, but I just found out I was 18 and pregnant. My daughter is 18 herself now and just graduated high school this year. She's a beautiful and wonderful young lady that I love very much. I've told her the story about how I found out I was pregnant on Christmas Eve, and me and my best friend still laugh about it to this day. Merry effing Christmas to me.
That story took a wild turn. Like I did not expect it to go from, yeah, I was pretty pissed at my aunt too. Oh, and then I was pregnant.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it was a blessing in disguise that you needed a reason to leave and
That's true.
was just like, oh, let me just see.
Yeah.
Just
And
for
there
funsies.
was just for funsies. So casual about it. Yeah, I thought we might as well go to a drugstore, pick one up. Pregnant.
Well, it all worked out in
It
the
did.
end.
Beautiful full circle moment. Shady story number 2. We got to jump back a couple of months. Beginning of March, I started a new job with a good friend, and I was telling her how I was hooking up with my ex again. She proceeds to tell me that a girl at our work used to talk to someone with that same name. His name isn't that common. So on my first day, I brought it up and found out that it was the same guy. And it was whatever, honestly, and she talked her shit about him too. We never had any issue We just became friends when we found out our good old boy's other's ex was stalking us on both of our Instagrams. Well, jump to now, and I noticed I wasn't seeing the girl I worked with Instagram stories and happened to follow her on a different page, and she had a story up. So obviously she was blocking me from the stories, but why? Well, good old boy lives around the block from me, so one night when I was driving home to his house and whose car was in it? Of course, no one else but the girl I work with. I was so baffled. How could she be so upfront and honest with someone and find out that she's being a snake behind my back? Needless to say, we still work together, so I told her not to speak to me, but of course, I had to be a little petty. So while at work, I played the song, quote, use a hoe, and I said, yours a hoe, or use a hoe, and I sang along very loudly. But I have to learn to work with someone who did me dirty like that.
I feel like that's just awkward. I just
It's
wouldn't.
so awkward. I hate it.
But also, why did they pretend to also be like, oh,
Yeah, oh, F that guy. He
yeah,
sucks. And then she just went right back to him.
yikes.
Mm-mm-mm. Not cool.
Not good. I feel like we haven't been rating them.
No, I don't think
We
we have.
forgot the last like multiple. I think all last week we didn't.
That's crazy. This, pretty shady. Not that shady. 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
feels about right.
All right. Let's finish with some good old holiday shade.
Mm-mm.
Shady story number 3. The holiday shade you asked for. When I was little and still teetering on the edge of is Santa real, my brother, who is 5 years older, came to me and said, if you pretend to believe in Santa, Mom and Dad will get us more presents. My stupid brain was like, great, will do. Fast forward like a week, and my mom said, your brother told us you said you were going to believe in Santa so that we'll get you more presents. I didn't tell her the truth, but I'm 31 years old now, and it still bugs me. How dare he throw the weight of that on me? I think about it every December.
I would be so pissed. This kind of stuff I feel like still happen where it's like it's somebody else's idea and then they throw it back on you once they get caught. Like, how are they about to do that?
You guys, I have the best
Oh no.
story about our friend who we were talking about at this gingerbread making house. Gingerbread house making party. I can never get it in the right order. I say gingerbread making house instead of gingerbread house. Anyways, at this thing, we were talking about how we all found out Santa wasn't real, which obviously we need to put a little content warning at the beginning here. Don't let your kids listen to this with you right now.
Yeah, no.
Too late probably for that though.
But we
tried.
Yeah. Shit.
I don't know. We'll say it
Santa is real
in the description. But we were all talking about how we found out that Santa wasn't real, and she said the craziest thing. So our friend Shauna says, "Oh yeah, my parents every Christmas night, the night before Christmas Eve, would paint her nails, and while she was sleeping." So she was told from her parents that Santa painted her nails every Christmas Eve. And so she would wake up in the middle of the night, look at her nails, and if her nails were painted, she knew Santa came. And that's how she would know Santa came to her house. I mean, we couldn't believe it. And I go, you didn't think at that time, like, to ask, no other kids were getting their nails painted by Santa? And like, she genuinely thought that Santa came to her house and painted her nails every night.
Are we sure?
Yes. And I was like, that is just like not a universal experience.
What was their thought process there? Why did they have to go the extra mile to paint her nails while she was sleeping? That seems incredibly difficult.
She said she used to sleep with her hands on her chest so that Santa would paint her nails. And
did she want that to happen? Like, was that what she was asking for Santa, like from Santa when she was little? Like, I want my nails painted for Christmas?
That's what they did. And that's how she knew Santa came.
That's the craziest story I've ever heard.
Isn't it so crazy? I
And then
couldn't
wait,
get
how did
over
she
it.
find out that Santa wasn't real? Her nails stopped getting painted?
No, so she said one time she had a suspicion, and so while her mom was in the room painting her nails, she like opened her eyes and saw her mom painting her nails. And then she said she also like compared the handwriting to
Oh,
like her mom's
yeah, and
handwriting.
it looked
But
very similar.
still, like I was like, that is so risky for no reason as a parent. I feel like every parent is just always stressed out, like, hopefully they don't catch me, you know? And then they're in there just straight up painting
Painting
your
your
nails.
nails? That's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
Dude, do you know how I found out? I think this is like I'm 99% sure this is like what confirmed for me that Santa wasn't real. Cause I think at this, however old I was in some point in elementary school, I think there was like chatter talk of people, Santa's not real or whatever. Like, you don't fully believe that always when you're a kid. And I was reading a book, and I want to say it was one of like the like Magic Treehouse books, you know, that brand. And I remember it was like our class had gone to the library, and everyone was just kind of like, had your book, and you were sitting somewhere in the library. And I was sitting over by the door that led to the computer lab by a case of books, reading it. And in the book, the character found out, and it was like searching that Santa was not real. And I was like, why would they put that in a children's book looking back on it? That, like,
That is so crazy. I did not
yeah.
know that was in a
Yeah, it
book.
was in like one of the books where like the main character was finding out that Santa wasn't real and like his parents were telling him or something like that. And it wasn't like a book where it was like other kids were talking about, oh, Santa might not be real, but it's never confirmed. Santa's kind of real in the book. No, it was like Santa does not exist.
That is messed up.
Isn't it? To be in a children's book?
Yeah, I feel like they should have vetted that and like not had that in the library or
Yeah, and I was
something.
like, oh shit.
And
Um
then what? You call your mom?
I don't know. I don't even know if I said anything to my parents about it when I read
You were
that
like the
book.
person in the last story. Like, you just wanted more gifts.
No.
Oh
No.
gosh. No, I'm just kidding. Well, that concludes this week's episode.
That
And we're doing for the bonus content. We're gonna go through gifts that we got people this year, gifts we asked for this year. And yeah, that we'll see you guys after the holidays.
all right. See y'all then. See you in the new year. Bye
Bye
everyone.
everyone.